Philadelphia 76ers absolutely blow the door out of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that was a pretty exciting game to watch. Now, with the starters, is there anything you can honestly, quote-unquote, take away? I mean, other than the fact that when Ben Simmons came back, you saw what Ben Simmons can do on the defensive end. You saw him get you out in transition. You saw him really just dominate the game on the defensive end of the ball. And it keeps you seeing Shake Milton do an absolute minimum, which I like that. I know I was the first one to hype up Shake Milton, but damn did he come down crumbling down to earth, especially on defense. Shake Milton on defense. Oh my god. Like, the Oklahoma City Thunder, let's start there. They're a trash fire of an organization. I know I praised them the first time we blew them out because I'm like, hey, you got young players. But then Tony Bradley's that awful ref. I don't know. I'm going too fast, right? But Tony Bradley did not play, so that's missing one of your better young players. And Moses Brown is no Jerome Embiid, so. And Poco is 19 years old, and he's all of that when you go up against men, when you go up against Matisse Thybulle, knowing what he's doing. Matisse Thybulle on the defensive end is lights out. Oh, and while we start there, this is going to be the title of the video. Young players show out. Because that was the big takeaway. All of you young players showed out. Matisse Thybulle hitting 2 3-pointers. And then Matisse Thybulle hit those 3-pointers against real competition on a consistent basis. Then you got something right there. We all know the Joel Embiid thing. So it's kind of, I don't want to be whole hum about it as though there's nothing to appreciate. But it's kind of automatic it's automatic against anybody, but it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that can't be what gets you up at night or up in the day. Oh my god, Joel Embiid put 21 in 22 minutes against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I would have been shocked if he didn't put up 30 in 20 minutes against the Thunder. If you're Oklahoma City Thunder fan, you think about the numerous first round picks, you think about all of that, and you just think to yourself, this is going to get better in a relatively short period of time, because we're going to have lottery picks, we're going to have assets to pick, starting caliber players. Now you have to develop those starting caliber players, but as a Sixers fan, let me tell you, the first step, and we were here, so I'm going to help some OKC fans out. The first step is to draft them. The second step is to develop them. The third step, which is important, you have to make sure they fit. But if you can do those 3 things, you're at a pretty good place. You know? You're at a pretty good place. And I feel like a couple of your young players will probably be solid bench players for when you do make that run. So it's not as though, oh my god, these players can't play basketball. I feel like in a couple of years, they're going to be your Jakar Sampsons. They'll be your TJ McConnells. And if you keep them around, that's good. It's good that you have this young depth early, this young bench depth. But right now, they're an absolute disgrace of a basketball team. It's kind of hilarious. I was thinking, will we keep them under 90? And I think they did get 90, or was barely seed. They're so relevant you don't even think about the scoreboard at the end. But I think it was close enough. You held them to 90 or less, which is pretty impressive, but at the same time, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. The real 2 stars of the game in terms of, oh my god, did you see that? Tyrese Maxey and B-Ball Paul. Now, when it comes to B-Ball Paul, we have all said for the life of us, what the bleep is Mike Scott doing on the floor? The left hip contusion, Mike Scott did not play. Thank God. Now Doc will be like, yeah, with the Oklahoma City Thunder, just like I was. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Mike Scott could not have 10 points and 9 rebounds in 10 minutes. Mike Scott doesn't give you 9 rebounds against legitimate competition in 25 minutes. Excuse me with the hiccup. Mike Scott doesn't give you 4 rebounds in 20 minutes. Mike Scott doesn't give you interior defense. And he sure as hell doesn't give you that reverse jam. Holy shit. Enough of Mike Scott. You had Anthony Tolliver, even though Tolliver didn't do anything with the points, he grabbed 2 rebounds in those minutes and he played some pretty solid defense. So you felt Anthony Tolliver on the floor defensively. Enough of Mike Scott. Where he belongs is a retirement home, not the NBA. His game lacing days are over. He's not an NBA talent in this league. He was 10 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Mike Scott is not an NBA player today. Rest in peace, the career of Mike Scott is over, okay? That's what happens. You get to a certain age in the NBA, you're done. It's time to think about your life at the basketball, and then young players come and the cycle continues. That is how it works. That's how it works in the NBA, Doc. That's the nature of the beast. Mike Scott is not an NBA player. And hopefully, that breakout game by B-Ball Paul, albeit against the Thunder, but hopefully that game put it to rest that Mike Scott is a scrub who shouldn't receive a single tick of NBA seconds. Definitely not in the playoffs, but for the rest of this regular season, it's done. Consider your life, your passions, at the basketball. Sincerely, truly. I just don't want to see Mike Scott. Yeah, I don't want to see Mike Scott. But then there's impressive player number 2. Well, I guess you could say impressive player number 3. But I already talked about Matisse Thybulle hitting those 3-pointers. Tyrese Maxey. You know, there was some quotes by George Hill talking about what a great guard he'll be, talking about his speed and stuff like that. And Tyrese Maxey had been adamant to the media earlier, a couple of days ago, and even after the loss of the Bucks, talking about how George Hill has him in his ear, talking about how to play the point guard position. And that's what makes this trade for George Hill. It's now a very invaluable trade. Let's be brutally honest. Tyrese Maxey was not going to learn how to play point guard from Ben Simmons. He wasn't going to learn how to play point guard from a guy who takes big, long strides in the paint, is able to get a second defender for the hell of it, literally for the hell of it. No! He's 6'4", not 6'10", so he has to learn how to play the position the way it's meant to be played. Can you use change of direction? Can you use your dribble to set up your teammate? And before, Tyrese Maxey showed you the skill, but not the ingredients, if you will. It's like a chef who sometimes can make a great dish, but doesn't necessarily know how to make the dish. So sometimes it comes out okay, but it could be better. And you imagine what this chef is going to be down the line. George Hill is the veteran chef who is a good chef. You're a solid chef. But you're not, or you never have been, that A-plus chef that Tyrese Maxey could be. But having that good chef, having that 4-star quality chef come in and tell you how to play the position has opened up so much for Tyrese Maxey. Yes, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll acknowledge that. But it doesn't matter. That change of direction is not something that he was doing earlier on. That ability to use the dribble to set up his teammate. The dude gave up a layup to skip to a 3-point shot. You didn't see that earlier in the year. Because, and it's not his fault, you're 19 years old, coming out, no NCAA tournament, no summer league, no real opportunity to truly develop. You didn't have someone like that. Oh, I'm sure Sam Cassell and Doc Rivers most definitely would show you this, but Doc will admit it's different coming from a player, and coming from a player your size, than it is coming from the retiree coaches. To say nothing about great coaching staff. But there's only so much the coaching staff can do when you have an NBA veteran like George Hill able to show you how it's done. That really elevates it. And so it isn't the 11 points in 12 minutes for Tyrese. Although even the way he scored was impressive. If you can use your dribble to set up your teammate, you can use your dribble to get all the way to the rim. He always had that ability, but now he's slowing it down and then speeding it up, learning how to use his speeds better. It's invaluable. That trade, we were upset about it. You don't trade young big man for old guard. But if there's something that makes up for that gap, it's going to be that he is directly in the ear of Tyrese Maxey. And that's going to elevate Tyrese Maxey from solid bench player who can score a couple buckets to, I want us to keep George Hill next year. It's a partially guaranteed contract. Guarantee it, just like the Danny Green contract this year. Guarantee it. Keep George Hill here, if for nothing else than the continued development of Tyrese Maxey. Because George Hill is another coach on the floor, and Tyrese Maxey is reaping the benefits. It wasn't just the points. It wasn't just at speed again. The 4 assists in 12 minutes, watch that from a point guard perspective. And to just see the growth of Tyrese Maxey in a couple of weeks with George Hill. It was mentioned by DJ Eastwood, my friend, colleague. Go hit up his channel. He always talked about how Embiid is a genius, and he is. Just picking things up in basketball. The same thing here with Tyrese Maxey. You get George Hill for a few weeks, and now you're learning change of direction, how to use your dribble to set up your teammates. It shows that Tyrese Maxey is a sponge of the game and just needed a guy, a veteran in this league. Because what are you really learning from Shake Milton, a guard who's similar in age to you, and also is not very good at point guard? But to have George Hill be there for you, it's invaluable. That trade looks better and better just because of Tyrese Maxey's development. That is going to be such a long-term win, even if we don't go all the way. Even if we don't win a championship, that trade has become so invaluable now because of Tyrese Maxey's development. It is huge. And the reason it's huge is that you know, and I know, and practically this channel has been about it, I want a live ball guard. I don't want more drive and kick. That's boring. You can have that as one of your options. Like I said, one of Tyrese's assists was a drive and kick. Sure. But you need to be able to hit the other spots on the floor. Tyrese Maxey tried to set up Paul Reed for an open dunk in the paint, and then unfortunately it didn't go in. Only 1 or 2 misses that F-ball Paul had. But think about that. Setting up your big man underneath the basket. That's what I'm talking about. Setting up your teammate open in triple threat position and letting your teammate make a play. Things like that. Give me a live ball guard. And as soon as next year, even without making a trade, we might have a live ball guard. Thanks to George Hill. Thank you, George Hill, for being the mentor of Tyrese Maxey. It will pay huge dividends. So I think that's really all she wrote. We blew out a bad team. There's nothing really for me to criticize, nor should I, when you blow out one of the worst teams in the league by 30. I criticize the embarrassment of the Thunder. 23 steals. One short of the Sixer franchise record for steals. I mean, it's just the Thunder are trash. There's never more to it than that. The Thunder are trash. We took care of business. And we have some rest. Well, really, 1 day of rest today. Because I believe, do you have to go on the road? I believe so. Or will they come here? I don't know. I'll check it out. I think they might be home. Who knows? But the next series is the Atlanta Hawks series. And the Atlanta Hawks, they could be a good team. And they definitely been a hot team of late. They had a winning streak snap just yesterday. But the Hawks could be a good team. They could be a pesky team. And it was good to get your rest. Old school rest. Your starters, all of them played only 20 to 22 minutes. I'd like that. You know, there was actually a moment where Joe B makes a good defensive play, but he ends up falling on the floor on his shoulder, and I'm like, Doc, just take him out, please. The Oklahoma City Thunder. If you can't blow out the Oklahoma City Thunder with your third string, I don't know what to tell you. It was literally that dominant. It was like, stop it. You don't need a starter at this point. Sometimes I feel like coaches have a tough time reading the floor at times, even the best of coaches, you know? It would always annoy me with BB, but with Doc sometimes in these blowouts. It goes both ways. These blowouts when we're up big and these blowouts where we are rarely, but lately we have been on the low of it. I'm like, just take the starters out. It's over. It's over. From a scoring standpoint, I don't care if there's 8 minutes left or 10 minutes left in the quarter. You're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just that quality alone tells you it's over. I don't care if it's 5 minutes left in the third quarter. It's over. I kind of want Doc to get better at that. It's over. Don't fix Joe B's injury to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's all. Don't fix that being dislocated the shoulder or something. The moment that Joe's like, oh, hey, I'm feeling a little bit something, it's the OKC Thunder. You know, and that's when you pull the plug. Now, he sat down like 2 minutes later, but it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, you know? Like, take him out. Okay, I said I wouldn't criticize anything, but it would not have been a video if I did not. So, there's my little criticism. Even though they all played 20 minutes, at that point, when he fell down, I was like, take him out! Take him out! But, that's all. Looking forward to this Atlanta Hawks game. Really looking forward to this stretch. This is a stretch of very winnable games, and the Sixers should run the table. I want them to run the table. Them running the table will be absolutely vital to winning 50 games. They need to run the table, and I think they can. Other than the Heat, your opponents are the Magic, the Heat. The Heat lost to the Bulls, okay? That's a game you absolutely have to win. If you can't outscore the Nikola Vujovic in the late Chicago Bulls, I don't know what to tell you. That Heat team is... Oh, damn, with the hiccups again. That Oklahoma City team... Oh, and that Bulls team. The Bulls team are down bad. The Spurs, we know all about that. With all due respect to Greg Popovich, we know, right? We handled our business against the Spurs. For fully healthy, I expect no less. This is cupcake schedule. After the Hawks, especially, it's super cupcakes. If you can beat the Hawks, split that series. But ideally, because again, we want to be number one seed, right? We're a game back. We want to be that. We need to show it. And one way of showing it is by sweeping that Hawks series. You sweep the Hawks series. It's ambitious, but that's what you have to do to win the championship. Be ambitious. You sweep the Hawks series. You sweep the cupcakes. And not even the Nets can go undefeated the rest of the way. I promise. The Nets are probably going to lose maybe 2 or 3 times. This is your window. This is your chance to secure that top seed. There's cupcakes. Beat the cupcakes. Get the number 1 seed. Hopefully a couple of these games end up being old school rest games. And just get ready for the playoffs now that you're healthy. there was this whole thing about, Ben Simmons cold, and some people sick of Twitter. Because if you had read the Twitter, shit hit the fan. It's one other thing that we'll never know, okay? We'll never know. That's going to be the one thing. We'll never know. You have to take it out their word that it's an illness, flu or whatever it is. You have to take them at their word, because it's not like we're there, and it's not like we're reading the test results or whatever, and it's not like we're there in his house, okay? Seeing him for 5 seconds in a Target parking lot doesn't mean shit. But to play devil's advocate, we don't know. But if he did take this week to deal with the bullshit so that he could focus on basketball, so that he could be the best Ben Simmons that he could be, I fully support that. Because we need his mind to be 100% focused on Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and his championship run. We need best Ben Simmons. And the best Ben Simmons meant, oh, hey, Doc, I need to take a week, come up with this illness thing so I can deal with this spot situation that's happening right now. I am fully in support of it. Because hopefully now, A, you don't miss any games, and B, your mind is focused on dominating, the Thunder, the Hawks, the Magic, the Heat, and hopefully your focus is there to be able to take advantage of this run moving forward. And then obviously in the playoffs, we need really best Ben Simmons. We need 16, 8, and 8 Ben Simmons. We need that guy. We need your season average guy in the playoffs. I understand we have these shooters. We have Joel Embiid playing at a super high level. And to be able to be an off-ball player while you have all these guys who are super valuable. But in the playoffs, we paid you $30 million. We need you to come in and be your 16, 8, and 8. We need you to be your normal self, your aggressive self, and put pressure on the defense so that those guys who, let's be honest, they can't create their own shot, they get their open shots. We need you to be normal Ben Simmons moving forward. So if you need to take a week to tell the kids and the family to zip it, I'm all for it. Okay, now this is officially the end of the video. 6 of the universe. Peace. I had to make it in 20 minutes. I just had to.